Welcome back to Let's Talk Nudy. My name is Denise Coy, your host, and today's episode is all about consistency. The one mistake that everyone makes, every single person makes in their life, and it is not staying consistent. Now, we talk about the 3 pillars from before, and we talked about how your imagination is so important to create the life that you want to create the goals that you want to experience. Your habitual thought patterns are very, very important. Your belief system is essential for you to identify in order for you to find that foundation before you start creating the life that you want to create. Now, this is the hardest part for everyone. It is staying consistent with your actions, with your habitual thought patterns, with your mindset shift that you need to create in order to shift from your previous life or your current life to the life that you want to live or the person that you want to become. Now, I actually, if you guys notice, I put 2 books here that emphasize on the importance of consistency, which is the compound effect. Now, Jeff Olson from The Side Edge talks about how important the compound effect is in your life. How much are we overseeing the small actions that we take every single day that compound every single day into something bigger and bigger and bigger? Life is short, but life is long. We never know what's going to happen the next day. So sometimes we want instant results. We want everything to be here and now. I want to do this and I'm going to do it right now. I want to be fit and I want it right now. I want the instant result. I want the fast dieting pill. I want liposuction. I want all of these things that give me instant result. And we forget the importance of how much the compound effect actually affects our lives. Now, Jeff talks about in his book, which I always love to just visualize in my head, is this graph with a curve, and it could either go up or it can go down. And that's really how life is. You're never in your life are going to be in a straight line. You're either going to be going up or you're going to be going down. Now, obviously, everybody has their ups and downs, but that doesn't mean that when you are in a dark place in life, which is normal for everybody, it doesn't mean that you are going up. So inevitably, if we don't do anything about how can I reach my goal, what can I do today to get closer to what I want in my life, or who I want to become, or how I want people to see me, or that new career, that new job. If I'm not working towards a smaller increment step every single day to get me closer to this, your life is not going in a straight line. Your life is going down in the down curve. And that's just how life is. And we tend to undervalue the importance of a small step. Now, I had a couple of months where I wasn't encouraged to read. And I'm a big reader. I love books. Like, I literally have a book in every single room in this house. And ever since I was little, I just think books have always been a big thing for me. There was like about 6 months of my life recently that I was so discouraged to read. I was not in it. I was not having it. I was just not motivated. And that's fine. I was like, I have put in my work with so many books throughout the years. Like, I can take some time off from reading, a book that's going to help me grow and become a better person. And within those 6 months, I realized that my mindset was shifting to this place of like, I wasn't believing in my goals anymore. And I was kind of just like going monotone in my life when it comes to my professional goals. And mind you, I was enjoying life. I was not in a bad place. I was just like, I just need a break. And within those 6 months, my mindset was shifting so much to the point of like, I let go of all my consistent actions that I needed to take in order to slightly take every single minuscule step that I need to take every day that's going to get me closer to my goals. And I was like, what are my goals? I don't know. Like, I just need to enjoy and pause life. And that's okay. That is completely okay. I'm not saying that taking a pause and enjoying life is not okay, because it's definitely the purpose of life, essentially. But I forgot about so many things that I worked on for so long with my mindset and my belief system and what I'm capable of. And I kind of was forgetting that. And I'm like, I can't believe that I spent years formulating my mindset, and I took 6 months, and I'm like, whoa, like it's really, really going down. And it really affected me. It was like such a big change in my life. Finally, I started like reading again. And mind you, I love to read books, but these kinds of books where, it's all about growth and everything, I read about 10 pages a day. I don't read more than that. And I have read so many books just because of that rule that I gave myself years ago, where I am going to read at least 10 pages a day. And it has shifted my life completely. The way that I see how I handle money, completely different. The way that I see how I handle relationships, friendships, completely different. The way that I put in the work every single day, but I also have a balance of my life where I know when I have to rest and whatever, completely because of this. Now, the main reason why people give up on their goals while they're working on them is because every single day you're creating a small action that gets you closer to your goal. But those small steps are usually, they seem insignificant. And you think you're doing nothing. But then years later, after all these steps that you take every single day, you look back at so much that you have built. But people forget that. We forget that. And it's completely normal. I do it all the time. I have to keep reminding myself that every single step that I take in my life, I need to just go and go and go. And I see it a lot with my little sister. So she always had a dream of having like this amazing fit body. And I think a lot of people do. Obviously, like I secretly have that. And I think a lot of people do, but she loves it. Like it's part of her career. She's studying to be a physical trainer, and she used to be a personal trainer, and she just loves that life. And she's always wanted to just like have this fit body, and she has worked towards it so much. So she's been counting calories. She works out and she does all her stuff. And the other day she comes over to my house, and she's wearing like shorts, and her legs are like filled with muscle. They're just like pure steel. And I'm like, my little sister with pure steel. Like she's smaller than me, and it's just so funny seeing like how much strength she has in these legs, and obviously all over her body, but like her legs are just insanely fit. And I couldn't believe it, because I hadn't seen it every single day where I like, wow, look at her legs. No, it was like all of a sudden I see these legs and I'm like, holy crap. But in the backhand of all of this, I have seen her work so hard every single day on her diet, how many carbs she's taking in per day, how much protein. She like loves to know exactly how much she's putting into her body. And it's been going on for years. And here are the results. Here is what she has been working for so much. And a lot of people give up on those physical goals because they are hard and they take time. And a lot of people forget that. We forget that. We forget that taking those small steps every day, even though you're not seeing the direct results sometimes, they're just smaller steps that you're taking to become a better you, or the you that you want to become. So every single day, there's always a reminder that needs to be said as to everything that you're doing. There's a purpose behind it. There's an intention behind it. And we actually see it every day. So when we have people that, we listen to a podcast, or we follow like these fitness pages, or whatever it is, we see someone living that goal or experiencing that life that we like. It didn't happen overnight. They put in the work every single day. They were consistent, and they put in those small, tiny increment steps every single day to get there. And I'm not saying if you take a day off, like, oh my God, all hell breaks loose. No, it's having that consistency to stay consistent as often as possible. So there are 4 different ways that I found that really helped me identify and shape what I'm doing every single day to kind of remind myself, I need to keep going. I need to keep going. And I want to talk about these. So my first step is creating an identity-based habit. So you need to ask yourself, who do I want to become? What kind of person do I want to be? Okay, and I keep using the fitness example because to me, we are able to see it physically more easily than other things, but it can apply to anything else, any goals that you have in your life. But if, let's say, you want to be like this fitness person or really healthy person or whatever, you got to ask yourself, like, if I were this person right now, what would I be doing today? What would I be doing every single day? So for example, if you want to be a creator, what do creators do every single day? What can I do today that's going to help me become a creator of whatever it is? Whatever creator you want to be. You want to be a photographer? What does a photographer do every single day? Or not even every single day, maybe every other day, or like maybe twice a week. But what kind of photographer do you want to become? Do you want to be an amateur photographer, which is completely fine, which is my goal actually? Or do you want to be, a professional photographer? What do they do every single day? What do they practice? What kind of tools do they become masters of to be able to do that? You got to ask yourself these things and really find this habit of asking who you are, what is my identity, and who do I want to become? And align your actions every single day, even if they're small, align them and see if you can get that habitual pattern started. Now, the second one that I've seen throughout my life, I've used it since I graduated high school basically, which is celebrating the small goals. And I noticed this, obviously it's a very easy example for me where, I became a lawyer, and becoming a lawyer, sometimes people think, holy crap, like that's such a big step. And to me, I see it very differently. I see it that I had this goal for 7 years and I just worked towards it every single day. Mind you, I enjoyed my life. I didn't just like sit there and like completely eliminated my social life, my love life, my family life. No, like I went and I traveled and I did this, blah, blah, blah. And the best way to see it is, when you go to school, you go through semesters. So celebrating the fact that you studied for all your classes, you got good grades, and you passed the semester. And then you go to the next one. And then you have summer classes or summer vacation. And then going to school, you can see those little episodes of your life kind of compartmentalize, if I might say. Let's say you have a semester in the fall and a semester in the spring, and then you have summer. So your life kind of becomes these like increments of events that you have. So it's easier to celebrate those small steps that you have. So it made it easier for me where I was just going and I was enjoying it. Like the classes that I was taking, I enjoyed it and I was just loving it. It was just like these increments that I was celebrating every 3 months. And I was making it fun. I did study abroad and all of these. I always try to make it interesting for myself. And it worked out because I did that for 7 years. And here I am, this huge accomplishment in my life that I love and I'm really proud of. But it wasn't such a huge step. It was millions of small steps. It was not a huge step. It was not one decision. It was one decision every single day for the past 7 years. It was a decision I took to act on this amazing goal, huge goal that I had in my life and be okay, what can I do today to get closer to that? And I had my ups and downs. I had my really depressed episodes. I had my really happy episodes through it. That's life. Life will take you around to many different experiences in your life. But the one thing that stayed consistent throughout those 7 years is that I wanted to be this lawyer. What am I doing today to make sure that I'm aligning with that goal? Now, it's so funny because my friends are always saying like, oh my God, like, you do so much. You do so much in your life, in your day. And I do, obviously, like, I have, like, I love being busy, but that's just my personality. But what really helped me is identifying that motivation is irrelevant. Okay, motivation will come, and it'll come here and there, maybe less often that you might imagine. And it's great. Motivation is the way to do it. And sometimes we have to get ourselves motivated, throughout the days whenever we're trying to reach our goals. But motivation is irrelevant. Once you identify the life that you want to create, and once you identify those standards and those experiences that you want to have, and those goals that you want to create in your life, who you want to become, once you identify those things, it might come from motivation, but not really. It comes from you. You did that. You created that mindset of, I want this. Okay, now we have these goals. That has nothing to do with motivation. And then working towards them every single day, that has nothing to do with motivation. Yes, obviously we need to stay motivated, here and there. We sometimes, feel down or feel like we're doing nothing. And then we have our loved ones remind us that we got to keep going, we got to keep going. And that is motivation. But listen, motivation is not relevant. My secret to overcoming the days that I am not motivated, which is probably 85% of my life, is creating a routine. And that is something that has helped me so much in my life. I have for years gotten up at the same time every single day. Obviously, there are days that I have to wake up a little bit earlier for this or that, but it's always a consistent time where I just always wake up around 6:45. That's like my time where I'm like, I need to be up. There obviously are days that you wake up later, or even on the weekends where you're like, I need to sleep in. I've woken up like at 12 or whatever. But that's always been a consistent time for me where I'm like, okay, by 7 I'm up. By 7 I'm meditating. By 7 I'm doing my things. I'm ready to go. And you build a routine. So whatever goal you have, or whatever kind of person you are trying to become or you want to be, set a routine every day of something that you need to do, because we are habitual creatures. We like habits. Our bodies like habits. That's why whenever you, let's say, you eat at the same time every day, your body's going to get hungry at the same time every single day. They're like, okay, it's time, let's do it. And it wants to do that. It wants you to have that habit physically of doing things, going to sleep at the same time, eating at the same time every day, and whatever. But routines, whatever routine that you can create that'll help you get closer to your goal every single day, is going to be the key to staying consistent. Because there's going to be days where you are not feeling great and you're just like, oh, but then you got to do it because like, your body's just used to it. Your mind is used to it. For example, my mother is a really busy woman. She's a teacher in high school and she works like crazy. She absolutely loves her job. I've never seen someone serve their purpose in life more than my mom. But she gets home and she's exhausted. Like, she is literally dead. There's nothing that can move her from the couch. Like, she's just like, I need a nap for like 5 hours. And obviously she was getting a little bit older. Her knees started hurting. Her joints were hurting. Me and my sisters are like, we need to get her to go to the gym, start working out. So we kept telling her, we're like, Mom, like, just go. She's like, I don't have energy for this. Like, you're gonna get energy. It was so hard to explain the fact that sometimes when you work out, it might sound counterintuitive, but you will get more energy to do more things when you work out. Your body gets used to that energetic lifestyle. And I'm not a physician. I don't know. I have no idea what the science is behind it, but I know for a fact that when you start going to the gym or you start working out, your body gets used to it and you actually gain energy. So we kept telling her. Finally, she's like, okay, I'm going to start going. And there was a week that she like went 3 times for 1 week, and it was really hard for her. But she started loving it. She's like, wait, like I feel like I release a lot of my stress that I had throughout the day. And I feel better when I get home. Like, I have energy to cook dinner and I have energy to like finish up my day. And then when I go to sleep, I'm like so exhausted and I just go to sleep. So she started loving it. She's like, just going and going and going. And yesterday, I call her after work and I was like, hi, how are you? She's like, I am so exhausted. I'm going to take a nap. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she went and took a nap. And in my head, I'm like, obviously, she doesn't have time to go to the gym. Like, she's just tired. And then, like, she calls me about 2 hours later. She's like, oh, I'm leaving the gym. And I'm like, I thought you were sleeping. She's like, no, my body didn't let me. I had to go to the gym. I was shocked. I was like, for years, but we've been trying to get her to this level, and now she's there. And it's because her body, her mind, it's used to doing it. It's like, no matter how tired she was, she's like, if I go to the gym today, I'm going to feel better. And it was just subconsciously. Subconsciously, she did that for herself. And it's just so beautiful to see. This is a perfect example of forming a routine. That is the hack to whenever you are not motivated, which is most of the time, you can still stay consistent with your goals, with your actions every day. Now, my fourth and final tip on staying consistent with your goals is accepting that you're going to have bad days. Accept that there are going to be days that you're either going to be physically not feeling good, maybe you're sick, or your body's just physically tired, or mentally you're just not there, like you just feel off. You have to accept that those days are real in life and they are going to happen. Now, me, someone that I love creating projects and creating things outside of work and reaching, let's say, goals that I have. And it's like, okay, in a year, I'm going to do this. And it's like, sometimes they take a little bit longer. Sometimes they go a different way. Sometimes, you know, maybe they don't work out the way that you wanted them to work out. But you have to accept that you're going to have days off. And that's okay. I remember when my little sister started counting her calories, there was like days that she was so hungry. She's like, no, I can't. So she would go and eat whatever she wanted, and she would throw off her diet for like the next 5 days. And it would be so hard for her to get back into her diet. And it was because she thought that having that one bad day or that one bad meal, all of a sudden she has to like start all over again. And that's not true. You've made a lot of progress. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to have this day like, oh my God, okay, like I'm just gonna chill out and do nothing and just eat whatever I want. And now she learned that even though she might have like one cheat meal too many a week or something, it's not going to change her from her goals. Nothing's going to change. It's like the next day she's going back to it, and the next day and the next day. And then she makes sure that she always goes back and goes back and goes back as much as possible, but identifies that there are days that you're just going to take off, and it's okay. So I want to end this episode with saying, keep showing up for yourself every single day. No matter how small it is, just keep showing up. Just the fact of doing something so small on your days off, or just resting your body, identify it as you're showing up for yourself. Stay consistent with that mindset. And recognize that compound is real. The compounding effect is real. It'll happen. You're going to reach your goals. You're going to become the person you want to become. You are the person you want to become if you keep staying consistent. Okay, love you guys. Mwah.